HTC has officially announced the much-rumored One A9 smartphone. It comes with a lovely premium build and some good specs, even if they don't quite hit flagship territory. We have put HTC's new device up against the 3 other mid-range Android smartphones that we think matches it on the spec front. Watch full video to find out how the HTC One A9 compares to the Google Nexus 5X, Motorola Moto X Play. What are the differences and how does the HTC One A9 stack up against all? HTC One A9 vs Nexus 5X vs Moto X Play, Design. The HTC One A9 measures 145.8 x 70.8 x 7.3 mm and weighs 143 grams. It features a premium metal build and offers a flat rear as opposed to a curved rear like the HTC One M7, One M8, and One M9. It isn't the smallest, slimmest, or lightest of the devices being compared here, with all 3 of those crowns go to the Samsung Galaxy A5 that measures 139.3 x 69.7 x 6.7 mm and weighs 123 grams. Also featuring a metal build, but it isn't the largest or heaviest either. The Motorola Moto Play X, while the thickest, is the measuring 10.9 mm at its thickest point. On the whole, the HTC One A9 sits in the smaller and lighter half of the devices. As we mentioned, the HTC One A9 come with metal builds, while the Moto X Play and Nexus 5X all opt for plastic. The Moto X Play both have water repellent features though, while the Nexus 5X have USB Type-C and fingerprint sensors. The One A9 also has a fingerprint sensor. The HTC One A9 comes in 4 standard color options, which is more than any of the other devices within this comparison, but the Moto X Play has the Moto Maker feature, which allows for the best customization opportunities. HTC One A9 vs Nexus 5X vs Moto X Play, Display. The HTC One A9 features a 5-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1920 x 1080 for a pixel density of 440 ppi, which is the same size and resolution as the Sony Xperia M5. The Nexus 5X ups the size to a 5.2-inch Full HD display for a 424 ppi, while the OnePlus 2 and Moto X Play further increase the size to 5.5 inches but stick at Full HD for pixel densities of 401 ppi. As a result, the HTC One A9 have the sharpest and crispest displays but also the smallest. HTC One A9 vs Nexus 5X vs Moto X Play, Camera. Smartphones' cameras are difficult to compare as it isn't just about the megapixels. There are various factors that contribute to helping a smartphone take a decent shot, so it is worth reading our reviews before you pick one of these based on camera megapixels alone. For number crunching's sake, however, the HTC One A9 comes with a 13-megapixel rear snapper with optical image stabilization built in and a 4-megapixel ultra-pixel front camera. The Nexus 5X sit around the same mark, sporting 5-megapixel front cameras and 12.3-megapixel or 13-megapixel rear snappers. The Motorola Moto X takes things up a notch in the rear camera department with a bump to 21 megapixels, but the rear remains at 5 megapixels. HTC One A9 vs Nexus 5X vs Moto X Play hardware. The HTC One A9 comes with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 617 processor and either 2GB or 3GB of RAM, depending on the territory. There is a choice of 16GB or 32GB of internal memory and support for microSD storage expansion. In terms of storage, the Nexus 5X and Motorola Moto X Play offer the same as the HTC One A9 with 16GB and 32GB options, while the Galaxy A5 and Sony Xperia M5 both have 16GB only. The OnePlus 2 comes in 32GB and 64GB. Only the Moto X Play, Galaxy A5 and Xperia M5 offer microSD storage expansion like the HTC One A9. The biggest battery capacity sits within the Moto X Play at 3630 mAh, followed by the One Plus 2 at 3300 mAh. The smallest is within the HTC One A9 at 2150 mAh, with the closest device in terms of battery being the Galaxy A5 at 2300 mAh. HTC One A9 vs Nexus 5X vs Moto X Play, software. The HTC One A9 runs on Android Marshmallow with a refined version of Sense 7 over the top. You still get the HTC skin, but a few things have been removed, such as the HTC browser, which makes for a cleaner experience. The Nexus 5X runs on pure Android 6.0 Marshmallow with no skin over the top, so this device is Android in its rawest form, but the Motorola Moto X Play runs on Android Lollipop with hardly any extra apps, and this will get an upgrade to Marshmallow soon. HTC One A9 vs Nexus 5X vs Moto X Play, price. The HTC One A9 has been priced in the UK at £429, which is the most expensive of the devices compared here. The Nexus 5X follows closely behind at £379.99. The Motorola Moto X Play starts at £279. HTC One A9 vs Nexus 5X vs Moto X Play, conclusion. All of the three devices within this comparison have strengths and weaknesses, and they are all good mid-range devices in their own right. They aren't flagships, but they do have some flagship qualities. The HTC One A9 is one of the smallest, lightest, and it has one of the sharpest displays out there. It doesn't have the fastest processor or the largest battery capacity, but it has a more premium build than others, and it gives HTC users a cleaner software experience, as well as microSD support. It is the most expensive though. But the HTC A9 certainly holds its own in the majority of areas and is a worthy consideration.